Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Coast. Carrie Champion here, out west, you out east. David Lloyd, yesterday's show was big. I don't know how we top it. Do you have an idea?
Yesterday's show has already garnered several Emmys. I'm not sure we can do this, but we're gonna give it our level best. Stephen A is going to pitch in just a minute, and we have a no-hitter, right? So we got that going for us.
We're all set.
The Bay Area carried the place to be out there in California. Last night, Mike Fiers pitched his second career no-hitter in Oakland and the 300th no-no in MLB history. Fiers threw 131 pitches, issued just 2 walks against the Reds. Tonight, the Avalanche in San Jose to face the Sharks in a Game 7. This will be the Sharks' second Game 7 this postseason. They beat Vegas in the first round a couple weeks ago. And back up to Oakland for this Game 5 in a deadlocked Rockets-Warriors series. It's at Oracle. The Warriors have only won 3 of their last 5 games at home there this postseason. Carrie?
All right, so now we're joined on Coast to Coast, as mentioned, by David Lloyd. Got Stephen A. Smith in advance of tonight's game, Game 5 in Oakland. Stephen A., thanks for being here.
No problem.
So, after dropping both games in Houston, you still have the Warriors winning the series. You said that very confidently yesterday here. But if Klay Thompson and Steph Curry don't show up, how confident are you that they'll be able to take this game tonight?
No, I wouldn't be confident at all, but I don't anticipate that happening. I'm very, very confident because I believe in those brothers. I think they're the greatest shooting backcourt we've ever seen in basketball. I think Steph Curry is the greatest shooter we've ever seen in basketball. And the combination of those two guys with, as far as I'm concerned, the greatest player in the game today, and Kevin Durant, should propel you to victory. The Golden State Warriors have not been themselves. They've allowed Houston's physicality to get to them. They clearly haven't been making shots. Houston has done a very, very skillful job of putting Steph Curry in pick and roll situations where he's forced to guard James Harden 1 minute, Eric Gordon the next, on occasion Chris Paul, and as a result, Steph Curry has found himself in foul trouble all of those games. And so you can't have that if you're the Golden State Warriors. You got to figure out a way to remedy that, and I'm confident that Steve Kerr will be able to do it.
All right, so when you say you're confident that he'll be able to do that, what do you think he'll go to tonight? What will be his game plan?
Well, I think, first of all, he's going to remind Steph Curry, your priority is not defense. Your priority is staying out of foul trouble and staying on the court so you can get loose and do the kind of things you do offensively. Because when you are effective offensively, it puts immense pressure on the competition, and they're simply incapable of dealing with it. That's number one. Number two, I expect that APB that's been out on Klay Thompson to be rescinded. I think he will show up tonight. I think he will show out. He shot 1 of 6 from three-point range. He's not shooting well in this series from the field or from three-point range at all. And the fact is that I don't anticipate that will continue to last with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is not, he's playing for a new contract. He's a free agent, ladies and gentlemen. He's a free agent. This guy is looking for a max deal. He deserves a max deal based on his level of production with the Golden State Warriors, but this series hasn't boded well for him. You're trying to three-peat. You're trying to close out the era at the Oracle before you move across the Bay to San Francisco. This could potentially be the Warriors' last home game at the Oracle if they lose tonight. I think they recognize it. I think they stand up and they respond. And we all know that Kevin Durant's going to show up. So that's the way I look at it. And let's not forget that Draymond Green shooting 62.5% from the field. He's played lights out this entire series thus far. And so I think the combination of all of those things propel Golden State to victory. You just got to get your backcourt playing the way that they're capable of playing. And it doesn't even require an explosion, Kerry. You just got to play good basketball. And they haven't been doing that.
That's it. Just play some good basketball, according to the Splash Brothers, who have not done that. Stephen A., thank you so much for joining us here on Coast to Coast. We'll all be watching tonight. Coming up, though, folks, is there a plan to get Steph and Klay going? You just heard Stephen A. say that he's pretty sure Steve Kerr will make some adjustments. The APB on Klay will be rescinded. So we talk about it in just a few moments. Stay with Coast to Coast, folks.
Kyrie is off. Kyrie's still struggling with that shot.
Have you ever had a shooting stretch like this?
Yeah, who cares?
Oh, my goodness. Tell us how you really feel.
When I step on the court, I got to do whatever it takes.
The Celtics are shoved up against the wall, down 3-1. They need Kyrie to be Kyrie, but he has not been that guy of late in this series. A combined 15 for 44 over the last 2 games. Could tonight be his last game in a C's uniform? New on SportsCenter. Here's what the Celtics are saying this hour about what needs to be done.
Playing smart, going out there and being aggressive, just let it fly.
What's made them so successful defensively against you this series, especially over the last few games?
Just making us be decision makers. testing us to make adjustments on the fly.
Throughout the course of the season, there's been ups and downs, and I think for the most part we've taken each game and tried to be our best. I mean, tonight it's no different. You got to forget what happened in the rest of the series. Try to be your best tonight. If we win tonight, you don't know what's going to happen. So your whole focus is on let's do our job each possession tonight.
For the last 3 games, when they've pulled away, we haven't responded, and so we've just got to be able to move on to what's next, play better, and not play what I would say to be somewhat haphazard. I think that ultimately we just have to stay the course with what we're trying to accomplish.
The Bucks took a commanding 3-1 lead by winning games 3 and 4 in Boston. Since seeding began in 1984, top seeds 58-1 when leading 3-1 in a best-of-7. Milwaukee is looking for its first conference finals appearance since 2001. Only 5 teams have longer active droughts: the Clippers, Wizards, Hornets, Knicks, and Blazers. Boston, the 46th team in NBA history to start a postseason 5-0. They're trying to avoid being the first to win the first 5 and then lose 4 straight to get bounced right out of the playoffs. And as we mentioned, Kyrie has to make shots if they want to turn this around. Irving has missed 43 shots over his last 3 games, his most missed field goal attempts in a 3-game span in his playoff career. Here's Seth Greenberg on the blueprint for Boston tonight.
For the Celtics to turn this series around, it's really simple. You've got to run good offense. You've got to share the ball. You've got to make the extra pass. Eliminate that one-on-one ISO type game. Because you know what? Your defensive transition is connected to your offensive execution and your shot selection. If you take bad shots, if you have bad floor bounds, all of a sudden, you know who rebounds the ball? The Greek Freak. You know what happens? He's attacking in transition. He's playing in space. He's getting to the rim. If you give help, he's kicking it out. Good offense equals good defensive transition. Good defensive transition gives you a chance to contain Giannis. That is the key to the rest of this series for the Celtics.
Bucks, the clear favorites to do this tonight. Our BPI gives Milwaukee a 74% chance to wrap it up in Game 5 at home, which would put Giannis and the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. As we mentioned, it's been a long time since they got there, and they'd be waiting for the winner of the Raptors-Sixers series. Carrie.
All right, so coming up, big blowouts mean 2 teams on the brink. What the Nuggets and Raptors need to do to close it out in Game 6. Plus, we're talking about this guy, David's old favorite quarterback, Tony Romo, staying in the game. How the former quarterback is using his football lessons in a different sport. You don't want to miss it.